Hey everyone, there are a lot of problems going on in the world right now, and a lot of us are really good at coming up with solutions to those problems. But I think we can come up with even better solutions if we can help each other understand what these problems are first. Now, a great way of doing that is through drawing. Now, I know that a lot of people can find drawing really hard, and particularly at work, it can be a bit weird. So let me break it down for you. Here's 3 different ways you can use drawing to understand problems better. Let's take a look. Now, what do I mean by visual problem framing? I think everyone can agree that we can do a lot more with pictures as well as words when we express things. And so framing problems is the same. It's exploring and explaining what's going on to each other using pictures as well as words. Now you can do this in 3 main ways, and the first thing is the literal representation of problems. The second way is the metaphorical representation of problems. Lots of people talk in metaphors all the time. And sometimes the problems that we need to tackle are really abstract, and so there's the conceptual representation of problems as well. Let's take a look at the literal representation of problems. And this is all about drawing real world objects that are involved in that problem. Now, often this involves people, so it's good to actually draw people, draw faces and what they're feeling, what emotions are they going through, who is involved in the problem. And sometimes you need to represent some other real world objects like laptops and technology and other things to do with products and services, and maybe buying those products and services and using them and getting help, things like that. And sometimes problems involve larger objects like government systems and policies, or factories and manufacturing, or schools, or other kinds of structures going on. And sometimes the real world objects are really, really small, even microscopic, like, I don't know, something to do with a pandemic, for example. And often it's good to show the sort of relationships going on between different people. How are they behaving to each other? Is it just between them, or is it between them and products and services? So it's good to actually bring that to life. That can bring a lot of clarity into what you're describing. Now, have you noticed a lot of people actually speak in metaphor? If you unpack a lot of the cliches that people use, it can be helpful to draw these. For example, I might draw this problem of, oh, we're not all on the same page. Well, how can we get on the same page? Or maybe you're working with someone and they're saying, oh, look, I know where I want to go, but there's just this big wall in the way. It can be helpful to draw that wall and help. And of course, some problems are really conceptual in nature. They are dealing with abstract concepts and processes and sometimes really big systems, and it can be helpful to draw these. Now, often people already know how to draw processes, like with boxes and arrows, and that's great. But see if you can play with the arrow. What can the arrow say about the problem going on in that process? And sometimes we do still need to have a big conversation about a problem, but when it comes to visually representing that, we can organize that conversation. For example, we can talk about and capture who is having the problem, and what, and why should we solve the problem? When does the problem happen? And if the problem happens to be time related, we can draw timelines, and we can section a timeline, and we can say, yep, this part is fine, but the thing is it's going on too long. And that's where the problem is. And so there you have it. There's 3 main ways to look at visual problem framing. Why not give it a go yourself and see how you can explore a problem more visually? I hope this gives you enough to make a start in doing this. Now, I'm going to be doing some more videos like this into visual problem framing, but in the meantime, check out prestosketching.com for some more specific examples, or Presto Sketching on any of the socials. and I'll see you next time.